Hey guys, I am Ibigandscary. I'm bringing you another StarCraft 2 replay. This time in the top left corner we have the Terran PansatyrLedr. I'm going to go by Pan. And in the top right we have Ragmond, the blue Protoss. We are on Shakur's Plateau. Both players I believe are in Bronze League. This was posted to Cast It. And we have a super early scout coming out of Ragmond. Probe coming out before 8 supply. It looks like the second one's going to come out for a pylon, so maybe this isn't going to be used for cheese. The pylon was thrown down a little bit preemptively. Still have a couple of supplies to go for those probes. Yeah, it's just going to be out scouting around. Maybe it'll be used for a proxy 2 gate, something like that. But as Pan moves along with his normal build order, he's got his supply depot coming up. Probably going to see a barracks and another supply depot to complete that wall off. Maybe the probe will be there for a forge fast expand, or maybe a forge will go down and we'll see some pylons and then some cannons. You know, the possibilities are just endless, absolutely endless. We have a gateway coming out for Pan. You know, pretty standard right now. How are you guys? I'm good. I'm real good. I spent like 3 hours today learning math that I should know, and I did not. So I felt good about myself afterwards. Rewarding myself with some StarCraft. That's right. Probe now is relatively certain that Pan is in the top left corner. SCV coming out, showing Ragmond how scouting's supposed to be done. SCV is going to go to the proper location almost immediately. The gateway and the pylon, I don't know if this is tight. It might be. Yeah, it looks tight. So that wall off looks tight. You know, one more structure right there will complete it. Sometimes you'll see them actually offset the structure just so a single zealot can complete that wall off. We can see a cyber core coming down, not being used for the wall. The SCV sees that there's no early gas, so you're not going to see any early tech coming out of Pan. But due to the timing, you might be concerned that a proxy pylon and some proxy units were placed, especially because that probe was so late getting there. Check right here, make sure there's no pylon, and then double gateway with some zealots coming in. That'd be terrible to deal with. Right now Pan doesn't have a single unit out to deal with it, and we can see that with the timing as things are now, that first zealot would be hitting the front door right now if this gateway and this gateway had been built down in the expansion instead. No gas coming for Pan either. Both players are pretty even on the probe count. You can see the mineral income is pretty much neck and neck. What's surprising is we don't see a orbital command coming out of Pan right now. He's got more than the money he needs. 700 minerals are floating right now, so I'd expect to see that morphin go in any second now. Another command center being built on the high ground, probably going to be used to take this expand. Pan's feeling comfortable right now with one barracks out, that he can deal with some aggression. If Pan had continued to scout and see that a command center was going down on that high ground rather than any extra unit producing structures, then you would probably expect to see some super aggression coming out of him with these 8 gateway. As things are now, we're probably going to see him wait until the warp gate, which is just now starting, will finish before some aggressions coming out of him. This probe's in position to throw down the pylon so that the units can be warped in close by. The probe's rather in a ballsy place. He's only in a couple feet away from a marine. He probably would be better off hiding. Maybe over here is where I like to hide my guys. Just within striking distance, maybe even up on this corner. Regardless, Command Center is going to be finishing soon enough. Command Center will be finishing soon enough. Pardon me. I'm so popular. Another barracks coming on the top ground, 2 racks just with the engineering bay. Engineering bay is not being used for any upgrades right now, but it looks like the gas is rather low with only a single SCV mining off of the single refinery. That'll take quite a long time before Pan has 100 gas saved up. Command Center is going to reposition. It looks like the orbital command has finally gone up. Oh, and look at that. Another refinery is being built. So yeah, that gas is definitely going to start streaming in soon enough. This Command Center is going to be working on getting that saturation up. But at the same time, it looks like the warp gate is almost done. It's getting chrono boost out. And that's an awful lot of gateways. I wonder, with only one gas saturated and another one coming up, what type of play could Rag be thinking of doing with so many gateways? Even with the cybernetics core, he's not going to have enough gas to produce range units off of all of these gateways with only just one base. You could expect to see this with a 2 base. A 7 gate is very popular and is very effective, but without taking an expansion, Rag's going to have a lot of minerals and not a lot of gas, so I expect to see a lot of zealots. Maybe that's what the Twilight Council's for. He's going to get zealot charge or something like that. Zealot's not the most effective thing against Marines, just because they can kite them so well and dance away, especially with stem. They're so fast on the ground. We can see the stem upgrade is coming out with the single add-on on the single barracks. Another factory coming out, so that's going to be great. Get some Hellions out to help with those zealots, or maybe even some siege tanks on the high ground. Hold back that aggression. As Pan has already gotten his expansion up, Rag is significantly behind on the amount of money he has. You can see that Pan is floating 1,200 minerals. Expect to see a lot more unit producing structures out of him soon enough. He does have a better saturation on the gas right now with four miners. You expect to see around 3. You need 3 to mine most effectively off of these, but with 2 on each gas, you can get like 1.5 full saturation, I think is what Day 9 was saying. Pan is allowing this nexus to go up, though, with only 3 zealots in the area. I feel like Pan could push out with his standing force and deal some damage, put some aggression up, or at least deny the proxy pylon going down and kill that probe, preventing any aggression coming out of Rag. But it looks like Pan is playing for the more late game. He's got tech coming out, a reactor already on. The factory is going to be used by the starport just to mass produce those medevacs. It'll be interesting to see what add-on the factory decides to throw down, because that really tells you more about what tech path we'll see out of Pan, specifically Hellions or siege tanks, early aggression or a slow push. There's the chrono boost is finishing off that zealot leg, and with that, the multitude of zealots are just going to be streaming out. Ragmond's doing a much better job of keeping the minerals down, but that's because his saturation is significantly less than Pan's. He's behind by around 13 minerals, or 13 harvesters, and remember that Terran does have the ability to call down mules. Not really being utilized by Pan right now, but it's Bronze League, and you don't expect to see specific macro techniques like mules being used at this level. We can see a healthy number of Marines, so he's going to have a good enough number to deal with any aggression coming out of Ragmond. With his ability to warp in so many zealots and so many sentries, he is saving up the gas quite a bit. It'll be interesting to see what type of unit composition is morphed in by Rag and what answer Pan has for it. Right now he's not producing anything out of either of his higher tech structures, only a single medevac despite the reactor. Despite him having gas, those medevacs could do quite a bit by prolonging the life of the Marines, and we're going to see the life of those Marines severely shortened as soon as these 7 zealots decide to come up here and munch on these Marines. That's an awful lot of Marines, though, and then one single medevac is in position to heal them. Quite a lot of them do go down. We can see 14 to 12, but the majority of those zealots aren't actually on the battlefield. All of the Marines in that area do go down, but as reinforcements continue to stream in, there's no real micro out of either player, but no micro is necessary at this point because the number of zealots is rather small. Still quite a lot of money for Pan, but it looks like he's getting out a multitude of barracks and is producing more medevacs, so his macro is going to be switching into high gear, a planetary fortress down on the natural, so he's going to be able to deal with these zealots much easier this time through. The splash damage from that planetary is going to make mincemeat out of these zealots. They go to work on the Marines. There's far less now, but again, that planetary is just shelling them down. And this is really, dealing with the aggression that's coming out of Ragmond. I'd expect to see these Marines just push up to this wall and start firing down the pylon. Just look around to see what is in the area. Maybe lift off the factory, which isn't getting used at all, and scout. But that might be a little advanced, infantry level 1. An excellent choice right there with the stem, with the medevacs. Is going to be a very mobile force. I expect Ragmond to be able to push out and poke, or Pan to be able to push out and poke at the front door. No, here's another massive warp in by the zealots. It looks like they were heading towards the planetary, but think better of it. Decided to deal with some of the Marines. Multiple Marines coming in. It looks like the Zealots have decided to work on the SCVs, but only a single one going down before it gets cleaned up by the medevacs, or the Marines. You can see that Marine number is really climbing, 19-7 right now. If Ragmond doesn't decide to start spending that gas, he's got so much saved up. Some sentries throwing, a single sentry throwing down a Guardian Shield would make the next wave far more effective. Several Stalkers could help too. Anything range, higher tech out of Ragmond. It doesn't look like he's built anything besides units for the past 5 minutes or so. So he seems to be stagnating. At the same time, Pan is just powerhousing out so many units. At the same time that I say that, it looks like Ragmond is deciding to throw out 3 Stargates. So that's what he's going to be spending his gas on. If he can succeed in getting out the Warp Gates, or the Stargates, the Void Rays, that's what I'm looking for. Void Rays would be an excellent choice for him, because they no macro, no micro, no nothing. You just 1A into it and you destroy everything right here. There's nothing to defend it. The Marines are all down in the natural. There's no anti-air anywhere, actually. Voiders would be an excellent choice for this matchup, but I don't think he's going to have enough time. The Stargates are just now finishing. A Dark Shrine is coming out, oh my. But remember, there's quite a lot of energy saved up on the Orbital Command back at the main. So even if those Dark Templars do make it into Pan's base, he's going to be able to scan and deal with it. And this intimidating force is heading out, and there's not much at home to deal with it. Finally spinning that gas, getting a lot of Stalkers up at the front base. That's a good choice. Another good choice would be some sentries, being able to throw down some force fields, cut this force into 2 manageable hunks. Would do a lot for Raymond. He's not producing anything out of the Stargates right now, but he does have that Dark Shrine coming, so he might think that a better choice to deal with the heavy ground units that Ragmond is going to be facing soon would be Dark Templars. Dark Templars, another good choice with no detection down here. He'd be able to take out quite a lot of SCVs, hoping that Pan reacts slower with that scan. And we can see that the Marines have stemmed. They push in, take out pretty much all the Zealots instantly, and are going to be pushing up into the main. No micro coming out of these Stalkers. They should fall back onto the high ground, see if they can do some damage to the medevacs, take out that air, but more Zealots pushing in. It looks like Ragmond doesn't have the resources he needs to supply that 7-gate play. So Pan's going to be able to push in pretty much unmolested into this Nexus. He's got the upgrade advantage. He's got 1-1 right now, and I don't think there's a single unit on the field. Ragmond should be able to morph in 1 or 2 Dark Templars, and if Pan doesn't notice, he could lose his entire army to that. But I don't think Ragmond is thinking about that right now. He's thinking about losing the Nexus, and Pan's thinking about moving up here and destroying this delicious pylon, which seems to be powering 5 gateways, or just 4 gateways. I think this guy's in on the other one too. So once Pan decides to push up into that main, that's going to be all she wrote. I appreciate you, Pan. I appreciate you. Thanks for posting this. I'm sorry for not casting that 90-minute one, but my larynx just couldn't handle it. I trust you understand. It's feeling a little raw talking right now. Don't be shy about producing tanks. You have plenty of everything. Supply, gas, and Marines to just produce a butt ton of units. And tanks will really help you out in this type of matchup, as well as defending against those Zealots. If you successfully repel a push, make sure you push down with your units. The single Marine that you had out early could have taken out the probe that was sitting on the low ground, and then you had like 5 after that first Zealot push, and you could push out then and deal some damage to that pylon. Don't be shy about spending all of your energy from your orbital. If you had an orbital here and an orbital here, instead of building a planetary, you could put a single bunker and you could have dealt with that push also. Instead of doing that, you could make quite a lot more money by spending your mules, even if you're afraid of DTs. As long as you have one orbital that has like 50 energy, then you're fine. And if you build an engineering bay as early as you did last time, you're always going to be able to build missile turrets with your detection just as well. If you have a comment, you could leave me a comment. If you have a game you want me to cast, you could PM me here or Reddit. One way or another, I appreciate you guys watching this. I'll see you guys later. I am Big and Scary. Bye.